Oh, look at you, torn up, tired, bruised in places no one can see. Feels like hell, doesn't it? Like the world chewed you up, spit you out, and left you lying there not even worth a second glance. Like trash, like you never mattered. And the worst part, it wasn't strangers who did this to you. It was them. The ones you trusted, the ones who said they cared, the ones who promised they had your back. They smiled to your face and stabbed you in ways you didn't see coming, then walked away like it was nothing. But here's the thing, they're still watching, from a distance, from the shadows. You might think they've moved on, forgotten you, but they haven't. They're waiting to see if you'll stay down, waiting to see if the weight of it all finally breaks you. Because that's what they want. They want you broken. They want you stuck in the dirt, buried under doubt and silence. Because the truth is, you getting back up, that terrifies them. Because if you rise again, you don't come back as the same version of yourself. You come back transformed, harder, wiser, hungrier. You become something they can't manipulate anymore, something they can't predict, something they can't stop. Ever thought about that? The raw, unrealized power you hold just by surviving. The threat you pose simply by refusing to disappear. That's why they tried to kill it early, tried to crush your spirit, tried to drown your fire before it could grow teeth. Because they saw it, that spark, that edge, that something inside you that made them uneasy. They couldn't control it, so they tried to destroy it. But here's what they didn't realize. You're not buried, you're planted. And planted things, they grow in silence. In the dark, under pressure. And when they finally break through the surface, they don't just rise, they erupt. That's you. You're not broken, you're becoming. Every scar, a blueprint. Every betrayal, fuel. Every time they said you weren't enough, just more proof they feared what you could be if you ever woke up. Well, guess what? You're waking up now. You're starting to remember who you are and who you're meant to become. And when that growth finally shows, when you rise from the ashes with fire in your eyes and purpose in your stride, those same people who laughed, who doubted, who walked away like you were nothing, they'll be the ones stuck in place, forced to watch as you become everything they tried to stop. And the best part, you won't need revenge. You won't need to prove anything. Your existence, your rise will be the loudest answer of all. Let them watch. Let them all watch. Let them sit in silence, behind their screens, behind their masks, behind the comfort of their judgments, and witness the very thing they thought they destroyed. Rise. Let them watch you get up, watch you rebuild, watch you become something they could never touch, never match, never even understand. They thought it was over, didn't they? They thought the damage was done. You were hurt, you were bruised, you were scarred, and in their minds, that meant you were finished. But that's where they got it all wrong. Because pain doesn't end you. It remakes you. Those scars, they're not signs of weakness. They're not reminders of failure. They're trophies etched in skin, soul, and memory. They say, I went to hell, and I didn't crawl out, I walked out, on fire. You don't hide those scars, you honor them. You carry them like a warrior carries their sword. Visible, earned, permanent. They mark you not as broken but as reborn. You're not shattered, you're being reforged. Like steel in flame, every betrayal, now armor. Every wound, now wisdom. Every tear, now fuel. You ever break a bone, it hurts, it changes you. But when it heals, it comes back stronger. That's what your heart is doing right now. That's what your spirit is becoming, more resilient, more grounded. More unstoppable than ever. And while you're putting yourself back together, God is moving in the silence. Yeah, you didn't hear him in the chaos. You didn't feel him in the heartbreak. But trust this, he was there. Watching, planning, preparing. He saw what they did. He heard what they said. He watched them walk away when you had nothing left. He witnessed every moment you sat in the dark thinking you were alone. And he wasn't idle. He was working. Because the promise was never to avoid the fire, it was that you'd come out refined by it. And now, he's rebuilding you, not in secret, not in silence, but in full view of the people who tried to bury you. They're going to see it. They're going to see you walk into rooms they swore you'd never enter. They're going to see you smile again after betting on your silence. They're going to see your name shine where they tried to erase it. They're going to feel the weight of what they lost when they tried to break what couldn't be broken. And you won't even have to say a word. Because your presence, your rebirth will say everything. They'll choke on the regret, on the envy, on the slow, aching realization that they underestimated the wrong soul. Because you didn't just survive, you evolved. You rose, and you became everything they feared you could be, and more. Asterisk. So, what? Now, you gonna stay down? Let the weight of it all crush your chest while they laugh from a distance pretending they care, while secretly hoping you never get back up. Asterisk. Let them watch. Let them celebrate your silence. Let them dance around your downfall, because they think it's over. They think you're done. But you and I both know that was never the end. You're not broken, you're becoming. You think masterpieces are born overnight. You think strength shows up without struggle. Please. This kind of rebirth, it costs something. Pain, loss, loneliness, and fire. Yeah, you've been through hell, but the fire, it didn't consume you. It refined you, made you sharp, made you harder to kill, made you unstoppable. Slow motion, footsteps in the dirt, getting steadier. People love to smile when you're up, but they vanish the second you fall. Those friends, they were just spectators waiting to see if you'd shatter, if you'd fold under the pressure. And maybe you did for a minute. Maybe you hit the floor harder than you thought possible. But here's what they didn't expect: the comeback. Because comebacks, they don't knock. They don't ask permission. They erupt. And you're not just rising. You're about to make the ground beneath you tremble. You see, God wasn't silent. He was building in the quiet. Every tear, every betrayal, every sleepless night, he saw it all. And now, he's not just restoring you. He's elevating you. Piece by piece, brick by brick. In the open. Where they can't ignore it. Where they'll have to watch. Watch as you become the very thing they feared, the version of you they tried to keep buried, the fire they couldn't put out. You're not a victim of your past. You're the architect of your future. And when you rise, don't just rise quietly. Shake the sky with your return. Let your silence be louder than their noise. Let your glow be so bright it blinds every hand that tried to dim you. Because they thought they saw your ending, but what they really saw was your becoming. You are the storm, you are the comeback, and you're just getting started. Asterisk. Let's get honest. God doesn't rebuild cowards. He doesn't put his hands on the ones who run when things get hard. He touches the broken who refuse to stay shattered. He rebuilds the warriors, the ones who stood in the fire and said, "Burn me, I'm not going anywhere." And you've been through the kind of pain people don't talk about. The kind that doesn't just scar your body, it rewires your soul. People left. People you would have died for turned their backs without hesitation. They didn't just walk away. They threw dirt on your name like they were at your funeral. But here's the thing. They thought they buried you. But God, he was planting you. And now you're starting to grow. Slow, painful, but powerful. Every betrayal, every breakdown, every sleepless night was a chisel. And what it's carving, it's not just a comeback, it's a whole different creation. You're not being fixed, you're being reborn. You think this is about revenge? No. This is bigger. This is about showing the world what happens when someone survives the fire and starts walking through it on purpose. You're not just going to survive. That's the bare minimum. You're going to rebuild what they tried to tear down, and you're going to make it bigger, stronger, louder. You're going to build an empire with the pieces of everything they tried to destroy. They didn't break you. They gave you the blueprint. They handed you the hammer and nails. Every scar, a signature. Every bruise, a blueprint. Every tear, cemented into your foundation. You're not fragile anymore. You're forged. You know what's wild? The same people who watched you fall, they're going to have front row seats when you rise, and they won't even recognize you. Not because you changed, but because you became who you were always meant to be, unapologetic, unshakable. Unstoppable. Asterisk. And God, he's not rebuilding you in secret. He's preparing a table right in front of those who threw dirt on your name. You think he's patching up your wounds? No, he's turning them into armor. You're going to walk through rooms that used to break you, with your head higher than ever. Not in arrogance, but in resurrection. Let them pretend they didn't doubt you. Let them act like they were there for you all along. You don't owe them rage. You don't owe them revenge. Your existence will be enough. The way you thrive, the way you love again, trust again, build again, that's going to haunt them more than your silence ever could. Because Deep down, they'll know they couldn't stop you. And that truth, it'll eat them alive. Asterisk, but you'll sleep peacefully, knowing every piece of pain, every ounce of pressure, was the exact weight needed to unlock your next level. You're not just rising from the ashes. You are becoming the flame. And listen, this isn't the end of your story. This is the origin. This is where you stop begging the world to see your worth and start building a life so powerful, so undeniable, that not even your enemies can pretend you don't exist. They thought they could write your ending, but they forgot something. God is the author, and your story, it's not a tragedy. It's a damn resurrection. So let them whisper, let them wonder, let them watch from the shadows, because you're not just coming back. You're coming back as something they can't touch, can't understand, can't control. And when they see it, when they see you, rebuilt from ruin, standing taller than ever, wiser, harder, brighter, they'll realize the worst mistake they ever made was thinking you'd stay broken. You've been through hell and back, and it didn't break you. It only made you stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. The people who doubted you, they're nothing compared to the force you've become. Now, you're ready to rise, not just to survive, but to thrive. God is rebuilding you, and He's doing it in front of everyone who ever thought they could break you. When you stand tall, stronger than ever, they'll have no choice but to witness your power. Remember this, you are not just a survivor, you're a warrior. And warriors, we don't stay down for long. 3 tips for staying strong. With these tips, you'll be unstoppable. Keep pushing forward, your comeback is inevitable. Embrace your inner phoenix. Just like a phoenix rises from the ashes, use every setback as the fuel for your comeback. The hotter the fire, the brighter you'll burn. Turn pain into power. That's right, every tear, every scar, they're supercharges for your soul. Transform them into rocket fuel and get ready to blast off. Don't just survive, conquer. Survival is for the weak. You were built to thrive. Make your resilience so strong. People mistake you for invincible,